This movie tells a story about two girls who disappear into the woods and return 3 days later with no memory of what happened to them. First of all, this movie is simply a creatively unnecessary and uninspired IP extension. It's generic, turgid, monotonous, and unimaginative. With easy-bake plotting of the most superficial sort, the movie fails to enliven what now amounts to a basic and familiar horror scenario. The cast do their best, but the movie feels by the numbers too much and does a major disservice to the original. While the film pays homage to the original and there are a few Easter eggs thrown in, it doesn't have much to offer, and even less if you have never seen the first one from 1973. Bringing Ellen Burstyn back for a cameo and incorporating Reagan's possession story is decent, but one can only rely so much on nostalgia, decent special effects, and a good cast to make it a good movie. The movie has a slight and incomprehensible story, as the script offers the typical supernatural fare in terms of dialogue. The movie feels very long, and it's really hard to go through the first 2 acts to get to the meat of the film in the last 30 minutes, as the movie fails to be interesting to watch. It's trying its best to avoid any death. The backstory of what the demons want and where the girls were for 3 days isn't ever addressed. Despite the title, Victor's journey from skepticism to belief is entirely reliant on the needs of the plot and never truly convincing. The conclusion of the movie further detracts from Victor's story and leaves this whole sequel feeling oddly pointless. To make it worse, the final showdown ends up being a bunch of generic shouting. Whereas the original mixed gross outs with a touch of faith, this movie goes all in on crazy noises and unmotivated cuts to demonic faces. There's a different and interesting approach that the movie tries, which is to incorporate different religions and beliefs to combat the demons. However, it doesn't really work. A scene of various faiths coming together for the greater good takes the form of everyone incoherently shouting over each other. While the message of joining together to fight evil is very nice, it saps this franchise of the specificity and atmosphere that made the first one so great. Overall, this movie is such a disappointment. We do not recommend this movie at all.